Since the tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk last week, I've wondered how in the world the shooter made it to the middle of a university campus with a rifle, then up on the roof of a building, then back down, then off of campus, all while not being caught. I've looked all over the internet for a description of where the shooter started, which parts of campus he walked through, and where he made his escape. And I only found a few bits of information. I was a student here at UVU for a time years ago, and I know this campus somewhat well. So I decided to put these pieces together and track the movements of the shooter and make this video of my investigation. We know the suspect parked his car in this residential area north of campus. We see our first footage of him walking down this particular sidewalk. A friend of ours has a brother who captured this footage on his doorbell camera. The suspect is walking down 800 South going west. There you can see Utah Lake in the distance. He is approaching and is about to turn left onto 800 West. This is a dead-end street for vehicles, but not a dead end for pedestrians. Here we can see what I'm going to call Wooded Area 3. More on that later. You may recognize this area from the video footage released by TMZ. It was captured by a resident's home security camera, and it shows the suspect walking south. At this point, we see the suspect crossing the street at an angle. This gives us a view of his limp. It is assumed that he is limping because he has a rifle in his pants. From this opposite side of the street, the suspect makes his way closer to campus. You can see UVU in the background. The New York Times reports that the suspect is captured on video crossing this grassy area into this parking lot. He approaches this pedestrian tunnel leading into campus. If we turn around here, we see that this is the spot that our first up-close image of the suspect is captured. And here's the camera that captured that widely shared image. The suspect continues through the tunnel, and at this stairway we get our second up-close image. Then our third up-close image as the suspect reaches this landing. Here's the camera that captured both of these images. The suspect now reaches ground level, and he can now see part of the lossy building there in the distance. And it's on the roof of that building that he will set himself up to commit that unspeakable act. He's not going to go all the way to the lossy center quite yet. He sees the front roof line but does not want to walk in front of the building because of the many people gathering in this area over here to watch the event. The event will soon take place over here on the other side of this building. Here's an aerial view of that event location. The suspect is seen walking on the north side of the Lossy building between the Lossy building and the Institute of Religion building here on the left. If he still has that rifle in his pants, these many stairs and hills will not be easy for him. As we round this back corner of the Lossy building, you may recognize this spot as the place the shooter jumps down from the roof. More on that in a minute. I believe the suspect walks along the east side of this building here, then enters these doors and soon exits these other doors that lead to this outdoor stairway. These stairs lead to a rooftop pedestrian walkway, but since the stairs are closed, we will go up another way. From up here, we can see the top of those stairs to our left. The suspect walks a short distance to this railing. He steps over the railing and onto the roof. It's shocking how accessible this roof is just minutes before the event begins. He makes his way to this spot over here, where he will have an elevated view of the event approximately 200 yards to the west. I found this image online that shows where the shooter was positioned. Sadly, the shooter has a clear and unobstructed view of where Charlie Kirk will be seated in just a few minutes. It is from this spot that the shooter tragically fires that fatal shot at 12:23 p.m. This callous monster runs across the rooftop in this direction, goes behind these windows, and over to this opposite corner of the building. Here we have a better view of that corner of the building. You'll remember this surveillance footage shared by the FBI showing the shooter climbing down from the roof. Look closely at his left shoe as it moves along this black panel. I believe his shoe left this mark you see here, but I cannot confirm that. At this point, the miserable being jumps down onto the grass below, leaving imprints that the FBI says are consistent with the type of shoe the shooter is wearing. Several impressions can be seen here. I imagine a couple of those were left by the suspect. At this point, the heartless criminal runs over this hill and toward the edge of campus. This is the same road with the pedestrian tunnel, only farther east. We can no longer see the killer in the surveillance footage after he reaches this point, but we know he crosses here and enters the wooded area here. I will call this Wooded Area 1. Was the rifle left here, or was it left in one of the other 2 wooded areas that we'll look at in a minute? As the shooter enters the wooded area, he finds a short but steep hill. To the left, there's a narrow walkway where we now see this orange cone. Not wanting to enter someone's backyard, I simply peek over the hill and zoom in to see 3 more orange cones. ABC4 News was recently here showing this area, complete with police tape, which was no longer present at the time I recorded my video footage. Could this be the location the rifle was left behind, wrapped in a towel? Possibly, but I'm not convinced. If the suspect continued up the hill, he would have entered this neighborhood, but only for a brief moment. I believe he walked over here, where he could then exit the neighborhood. He likely would have gone down this path and up into this wooded area. But even if this wasn't his exact path coming from the location of the 3 orange cones, we know he ended up behind this house here. From this small parking lot at the UVU ROTC building, you can see what I'm going to call Wooded Area 2. A friend who lives near this area was told that this is where the rifle and the towel was left behind. Is this true? I think it's very possible. But we've got one more place to look. We know the shooter passed through Wooded Area 2, ran across this field and over to Wooded Area 3. Remember that TMZ footage from earlier? That same camera that captured the limping suspect on his way to campus also captured the suspect going away from campus. But this time, there's no limp. Look to the left and you'll see that same dead-end road from the beginning of our video. From here we see where the shooter went from Wooded Area 2 toward Wooded Area 3. That TMZ footage shows the shooter go behind this house, and it seems that he is back there longer than needed. That is, unless he stops for some reason. Could he enter Wooded Area 3 and leave the rifle there? I don't know. But we do have footage of officials looking around that area, and at least one resident nearby has suggested this is the place the rifle was left. Also, this is the farthest from campus of any of our 3 places, and it's accessible from 2 roads, which would make retrieval more easy later on. You'll notice our guy is still behind this house, which could support the theory that he left the weapon and or changed clothes back there. Finally, he emerges and jogs down this dirt area and comes full circle as he returns to this part of his earlier path. From here, he heads back to his car, a cold-blooded assassin and an enemy to society. Luckily, he is put into custody approximately 33 hours later. Before we go, here's an exclusive eyewitness account from a young man who was at the Charlie Kirk event.
I was on Charlie's left, on the rows that you see of the cement. I was about the second, third one, kind of near a bush. I was there, and then you hear the gunshot, and my first thought was like firework, like really loud firework, but it was only a second later, everyone started dropping, and then I was like, it's a gun.
So when you heard the shot, what did you see
I was looking at Charlie, and then I see him like do this, you know?
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, he's startled, like everyone's startled. We drop, and then second I drop, you hear screaming from the crowd.
So you knew he got hit.
So then I'm like, why are they screaming, right? So I pop my head up, and that's when I see Charlie. At the time that I saw him, it was blood coming from the neck and the head tilted back. And then you're like frozen for a sec, and then everyone just starts moving and running.
Did you think he was gone? Like you think?
Yes, I like knew. Like when I was getting inside, I was like, with how much blood I saw.
There's no doubt that he died.
Yeah, I was like, he's dead. I called my mom, called my dad. I was like, Charlie shot in the neck. He's dead.
Did you see him? Did you look back and see him carried away?
No, it was the second I was moving. We were just trying to get inside.
And how could you tell where the shot came from?
I looked where the shot came from because I heard the sound coming from over there. It was super loud, and so it was kind of like looking at Charlie. He does this. I look over and then drop.
And then you look back.
And then I drop right, and then I hear the screaming. I look up, and that's when you see Charlie in the blood.
How many feet away do you think you were?
Maybe like 50 feet, 40 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, like if I were from here, it'd be from here to no further than the green lamppost.
Okay, so not very far.
Yeah, not that far. Like it was enough where I was seeing the blood like squirt. It was that close.
Wow.
Yeah. So we get inside. The hallways are packed. Everyone's running. They're screaming. They're crying. And then people are saying like active shooter. So everyone inside is running out of their classrooms. Everyone's running straight to their cars and like leaving. Yeah. My bag was left. I couldn't get it till yesterday.
So no one knew that there wouldn't be more shots.
No. We were all ducked, running as if we were just waiting for like the next rounds to happen.
Wow. Anything else that you remember?
Just with the school, I think it took about 20 minutes till the school started saying active shooter. And even, I don't know if you saw this, but in the messages, it was saying like insert location, right? So it didn't even
Okay.
say courtyard. It just said active shooter and then insert location in brackets.
They just sent it out.
Yeah, everyone was scared. Yeah,
You left your backpack.
yeah. Left my backpack, my keys, my wallet, everything was in there. And then I tried to go back 40 minutes later. By that time, police were already there and they weren't letting me get my stuff because it was all blocked off.
So it stayed there.
Stayed there outside for at least 4 days. And then they moved it inside. And then it wasn't until yesterday. There's another, it's a UVU building over here. They moved it over there.
Okay.
When I went to go get it, they had like FBI agents everywhere. And then they had like support dogs and they had therapists. So they're offering 25 sessions free for anyone that
That's good.
that needs it. Yeah.
And you had your AirPods in there so you can track location.
Yeah.
You kept track of it.
Yeah. And it did not move. The bag did not move like in those 4 days.
To Charlie's wife and children, and to all who mourn this senseless murder, we send our thoughts and prayers. Thank you for watching. Please consider sharing with others. Note: some of this information is speculative in nature and may not accurately reflect actual events. God bless.